Hello everyone. Today, hello everyone and good evening. My name is Emmanuel, and then I'll be giving. I've been tasked by my organization, Nene Labs, to carry out this task as an M365 administrator on behalf of Nene Labs in my organization. So the role I am given, and in this organization, I am given to be a Microsoft 365 user administrator as well as a security administrator. So the task I am given now is, in addition to assist the global administrator in my organization, as you can hear me correctly now. So right now I'm here on my organization's Nene Labs M365 portal, the profile portal, as my role in this organization is I'm given the user administrator role. I'm also given the security administrator role as well as the exchange administrator role in this organization, nenelabs.ng. So the tasks I'll be performing today, please do take note that this log or this documentation, I have been given permission by my organization to carry out this documentation or this video log for knowledge purposes, and also to show off my expertise and knowledge in this program to whoever may be my future employee and to whoever may be my future employer, as it may be. So this is a log. So the task I'm given now, I have been asked to perform access reviews as a user administrator, perform of access reviews, and as well as privilege identity management for users in my organization, Nene Labs. I've also been requested to perform conditional access policies, to implement conditional access policies in my organization's tenant, and also to implement identity protection under the protection tab in Microsoft 365 in Microsoft Entra Admin Center. So as I was saying, yes, so let's begin the task. The task includes to perform access reviews for our users and employees, and to perform privilege identity management in this video log or this video work documentation. Also to perform identity management, in the sense like identity protection, and to implement user risk policies and sign-in risk policies. Also to implement conditional access policies as well in this video log documentation. Okay, so as I was saying, you come down to your Microsoft 365 Admin Center, and then you click on the Identity Center. You click on Identity. Click on Identity. Admin Center. Click on Identity. Click on Identity. Click on Identity, Microsoft Entra Admin Center. Click on Identity, Microsoft Entra Admin Center. Let's say an 8. Yes. Let me close this. So we are here now in the Microsoft Entra Admin Center. From the identity, we go back to the Microsoft 365 Admin Center. We also click on the compliance and then the Exchange Admin Center. Okay, so we are in the Microsoft Entra Admin Center, and what we are asked to do is to perform access reviews as well as perform privilege identity management, identity protection, and conditional access policies. So how do you then you come down to the identity governance. Under the identity governance tab, you can see the access reviews and you can see privilege identity management. This is what we'll be implementing here. And then under protection, you can also see identity protection. So now if we click on this identity protection, we also see under identity protection, you can see under protection, manage protection type, you see identity protection, and you can also see conditional access, which we'll be dealing with, as well as password resets and authentication methods in this work log. Okay, we can also see our applications as well. I've also been requested by my manager to register the Zoom application for my organization's tenant, or for my organization Nene Labs, Free Bondego, app registrations, and then enterprise applications. Okay, so okay everyone, so let us begin performing privilege identity management and access reviews, as well as identity protection and conditional access. Okay, so we start by going from here to the Microsoft 365 Admin Center, and then I open the identity admin center in a new tab to access the Microsoft Entra Admin Center. To access the Microsoft Entra Admin Center. So what we first do now is for performing our access reviews with our groups and identity resources available in our organization on nenelabs.ng. What you first do is then to perform the access reviews. First, we prefer performing the access reviews on employees in our tenants. In the Microsoft 365, in the Nene Labs tenants, will be performing access reviews. So we come down here to the identity governance. We come down into the identity governance tab, and then we click on access reviews. So I'll open this in the new tab, and then you can also access the privilege identity management. So I'll also open this as well in the new tab. So we are in the Microsoft Entra Admin Center, and we're waiting for this to load. Let's wait for this thing to load. I'm going to close this for now, as well as this. Okay, so we are in the identity governance tab, as well as the Microsoft Entra. Well, this is yet to load. So we're in the identity governance tab. So what we now want to do is perform access reviews. How to perform access reviews in the Identity Governance tab. Let me see. So you click on access reviews. So we are in the Microsoft Entra Admin Center about to perform the access review. The access reviews. So what we first do now, you click on new access review. You click on new access review. Now we select what type of review do we want to perform. So on the what type of reviews would we like to perform on the new access review? So access review can be performed on the teams, groups, and applications. But the task that I'm given by my manager is to perform access reviews on the DevOps team as well as the Nene Labs employees team, both teams and groups. So we'll select teams and groups. Then the review scope, all Microsoft 365 groups with guest users, and then I can actually select the teams and groups. So let me select. Under groups, you now click on select groups. Okay, so we scroll down and then we can see the Nene Labs Human Resources team. We can see the product team and the DevOps team. Let me search for it so that I can speed this up. DevOps, the DevOps team. So these three teams, and click on select. Now scope, you can decide to the scope in guest users only, or all users. New access review, guest users only or all users. I'm sorry, hold on, let me modify this. Just this group is fine. Okay, click on select. You click on all users, not just guest users only that will perform the access reviews. All users in my organization and the company, menelabs.ng. So you click on next to reviews. Now see, as you can see now here, you click on select reviewers. So select reviewers are reviewers who now be you can decide to choose users review their own access or managers of users. So we select managers of users. Fallback reviewers. Our fallback reviewer will be Informer. Then specify recurrence of review. When I say specify recurrence of review, excuse me. I apologize for that interruption. Sorry for that intrusion. So we'll be continuing from where we stopped on the access reviews. So we go back to identity governance. I'll have to start this again, sorry. We go back to identity governance and then you click on the access reviews. Let's open this in a new tab and we'll also click on privileged identity management. Let me close this. I just need dream man. What will I buy for you? How this girl to make her happy? I bought her food. I bought her this thing. Okay, so we're now in the identity governance page on the Microsoft Entra Admin Center. So Entra Admin Center. So click on access reviews. We're performing access reviews. So click on new access review. You click on new access review. And select the type of access review on teams and groups. You select the teams. You select the group. By my manager in Nene Labs organization, I have been tasked with the performing access reviews on the organization groups known as the Nene Labs NG Human Resources Group Team and Group, the Nene Labs Human Resources Team and Groups Teams, the team, and I'll also be required to perform access reviews as well on the DevOps team as well for Nene Labs. So let me search for DevOps. I'm also to perform access reviews on this team as well, on this group as well. So I quickly select this, and then for the scope, as directed, I'm to select. I'm to perform the access review for all users, meaning the access review will affect all users within my organization's tenant of Nene Labs. Next, I will not select this. I want it to affect all users, active users on tenant level only. It should affect all users regardless of whether they are active or inactive. So we click on next to reviews. Then determine review stages, reviewers, and timeline below. Multi-stage review. I can decide to make this a multi-stage review, whereby the review will be performed in stages. But I will not do that. So what I'll actually select is, this is multi-stage review. I will not choose this. So select reviewers, managers of users. So I will require we choose the managers of each user to perform the access review, and then the fallback reviewer. The fallback reviewer will be myself as the IT administrator of the organization. Emmanuel, myself, okay, select that. And then duration in days. How many days maximum will it take for my organization or the managers of my users to complete the review, to complete the access review? We choose 5 days, 5 working days. Review occurrence, you say monthly. And then start date, let's say let it start tomorrow by 8th of September. Then 8th of September, select never, and then I click next. Apply auto apply. I click next into settings. Now under settings, configure additional settings including decision helpers and email notifications. Auto apply results to resources, yes. If reviewers don't respond, we take recommendations. At the end of review, send notification to informer. We select that. Now decision helpers, enable reviewer decision helpers, no signing within 30 days. It's important this should always be clicked. User to group affiliation. This is grayed out. There's no need for this, okay. Advanced settings, justification required, additional content for reviewers. I can decide to choose this. Let's say I'll put something simple like please review access to these teams group in many labs. Okay, so I can go with this. Then I click on next and create. So let me go back. Sorry, I click next to review and create. Then review name. For the review name, I can see I'll call it the DevOps Access Review. I leave it empty, confirm access, auto apply results, and then I click on create. And now my access review is being created, and you can see it is now completed. So I will then refresh this page for it to pop up. I can see DevOps Access Review has appeared for both groups, the Nene Labs Human Resources group, and then this group as well, the DevOps team group. Okay, now on the next task that I have that I've been given to by my manager is to perform access reviews for applications. Okay, so you come under your identity, then under devices you can see applications, and applications, enterprise applications, and app registrations. And also you can see role admins as well. I'm also been given a task as well to create admin units, to create and delegate admin units for the channels, for the tenant as well. Okay, so we are to perform an app registration. So we can click on enterprise applications to perform an app registration for my organization, for my company. Okay, so apart from the SharePoint, then we can click on new application. for enterprise application. This takes us to the browse the Microsoft Entra gallery. So we have to register the application, which is Zoom. Click on Zoom app, and then I click on create. Yeah, as you can see, the app is being created. Add applications. So now Zoom has been added into our application. So now upon it, the Zoom application has been added into our tenant. So now, upon the first thing, before we can perform access reviews for an application, we have to assign users and groups into these applications. Okay, so we'll set up single sign-on, and we'll also add users into our group. So we'll add a set of users. Let's assign some users. So what the next thing I need to do is now click on add user or group. Now for add user or group, we can select the users. So while we're waiting for this to load, we'll take some time. Let's also come down here to prep everything here for the privilege identity management. Start privilege identity management. You click on my role, you see my roles, my request. Under my roles, there are no privilege identity management given, or no assigned roles at all. Okay, so to begin privilege identity management, you can come down to under manage Microsoft Entra roles, then come on to roles. You can either choose to add assignment, or you can come down to quick start and click on assign eligibility to begin. But let's pause for now and go back and check on our app registration for our users. Let me open this in the new tab. I'm going to ask them for money. Okay. Seems this thing is taking too long. It's probably platform issues. Let's refresh this page. Let's it. Let's refresh this unit on this page. Okay, so let's have at it again. Click on users and groups to assign users and groups to our applications. Sorry, hold on. All applications. Let's click on Zoom. Assign users and groups. Add users or groups. Select users. So let's add our users. Rita, Informer, and Tega Jude. Stanley, let's click on select, and then for the role we go with basic role, we select and then click on assign, and now we are assigning users to our Zoom applications that will be needing this in our organization. The employment organization of Nene Labs. Okay, now the next thing that we also need to do, let's say roles and administrators. You can also assign roles and administrators to this application. This is a privilege as the privilege identity management. We can also assign owners to this application. So let's assign an owner. You can assign an owner as myself, Emmanuel, as the IT administrator of Nene Labs. I click on select, and owner assignment has been added. Let's close that, and now we can go on to perform access reviews for our application, our Zoom application. So we come down to identity governance and then click on access reviews. Access reviews, and then we click on new users. Then you click on users, you select the type of review application, you select the application, which will be Zoom. Select Zoom, and you select all users and click on next. Then it won't be a multi-stage review. Reviewers will be managers of users, fallback users will be myself as the IT administrator. For Emmanuel, myself, you select that. days of occurrence, 5 days. Review of occurrence, monthly access reviews. It's a never ending process. Click on next. How to apply results to resources, take recommendations, like I said, or you can decide to remove access or approve access. But normally you just, okay, let's go with take recommendations, because I'm directed by my manager to implement all this. Okay, let's take approve access. At the end of review, send notification to select users. Select notification to Rita. No. Emmanuel. And select that. And no signing within 30 days. And then we click on next, review and create. Access review. Let's call this the Zoom app access review. Access reviews. Then we click on create. Now our access review for our application is being created. Okay, now we can refresh this to, and now you can see the Zoom app access review has been created. It has not started, so I will not be able to modify. Okay, actually I can't modify this. I can't modify this or update this. Reviewers, managers, scheduled review. You can also decide to add fallback reviewers. Under reviewers, you can add more fallback reviewers. Under the scheduled review, you can make more changes as well. So we'll close that. Now we go scroll down and we move over to privilege identity management. Or before we can go into privilege identity management, as to perform my tasks as directed by my manager, let's check administrative units. I've also been directed by the administrative unit for my global administrator to delegate his power through the use of the administrative units. So we are here in the administrative units. How do you access the administrative units? You come down to identities, you click on roles and admins, and you see admin units. Okay, admin units. So we first decide by add a administrative unit. Then let's name the administrative units. My current location is Africa. Nigeria. Let's say let's call it Nene Labs Nigeria. Then enter the description of the administrative units. This is solely to delegate power of the global administrator. Global administrator in many labs. Okay, now restricted management unit. This is not always required, although it can help, but in this case of many labs is not required. This can later cause issues, so I'll actually leave it like this. Click on next, assign roles. Sorry, hold on, let me make sure I don't miss anything. Okay, click on next to assign roles. Assign roles, administrative roles. You scroll down and you see Teams administrator, printer administrator, user administrator. Let's click on user administrator. You click on user administrator. You can pick Rita. No, sorry. You can pick on informer. And then retail. And informer, and then Emmanuel, myself, Emmanuel, and click on add. So we're going to create this administrative unit. In this administrative unit, you have two user administrator, and so we also add the Teams administrator in this, the SharePoint administrator, sorry, in this. Let's select Rita Akpan as the SharePoint administrator for this administrative unit. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so we click on next, review and create. And then we click on create to create this administrative unit. Okay, now you can see that our administrative unit is ready, is created and is onboarded now. Okay, so let's click on that and let's see if you can do any changes or modifications. So upon creation of our administrative units, the next thing that we need to do is add our members. You can decide to use bulk operations or add member. So groups, you can also add groups, you can also add devices and roles and administrators. Please take note, this is actual work that is being done, but with permission of my organization, Nene Labs, I am permitted to do this as to make a video log or a video documentation of this work that is being done for educational purposes, and to also add to my portfolio for future works or future projects. So we first need to add our users now. We add our users or add our members. In process of adding our members, we add AU popular, Stanley Abara, Willie Obaro. We add these users to the administrative units. We can refresh, and our users are here. So in this admin unit, I am able to make changes to AY popular. If I click on AY popular, I can see sign logs, audit logs, custom assigned roles, no assigned roles. No assigned roles. Administrative units, just one. Excuse me, pardon me for that. Then groups. So what we want to do now, let's see if we can edit AO's properties and make some additions and edit this user. Let's see if we can edit this user. Account status enabled. So this particular user can make modifications to this user. Identity, job information, parental controls, anything needed can be done, especially with the likes of their domain. Can also be done as well. Okay, so that's that for administrative units. The next thing that we want to tackle head on now is privilege identity management. If you move to this tab that I've opened in a new tab, privilege identity management. So what we need to do now, as you can see, how do you access privilege identity management? You go to identity governance, then you click here, privilege identity management. So the first thing that I'll need to do now is so let's go back here and click on Microsoft Entra roles, and then I click on assign eligibility. So you can also then click on add assignments. And click on add assignments. Say we need a security administrator, so we have security administrator role. Groups, no. Okay. Or we can just try it this way. I apologize for that intrusion. So in order to implement privilege identity management for our tenants, we have to go to the Microsoft Entra rules. You see in the privilege identity management, I'm how to implement my task now. You have my roles, you have requests, but I don't, for the moment time being, I do not have any roles assigned to me. But what the exact role I have been tasked with is okay. I am to assign the security administration role, to a few members in our organization, Nene Labs. I am also to assign the role of SOC analyst and user administrator role as well. Provide in this privilege identity management, I'll be configuring just-in-time access for these roles. in my organization, Nene Labs. Okay, so excuse me. Okay, so what I do now is I go back to my roles, and then I click on Microsoft Entra roles to begin the privilege and to begin the assignment of privilege identity management to users in my organization. Excuse me. Sorry for that moment. Sorry for that pause in that. Sorry for that pause in that moment. So what we need to do now is you click on assign eligibility under our Entra roles that you can see here. Click on assign eligibility. Now wait for the roles to appear. So let's confirm our roles. Let's see. No, so can I use the security administrator? Sorry for that. Security administrator. So to assign the security administrator role, assignments, under assignments. Now in the security administrator role, under eligible assignments, we click on add assignments. Click on add assignments. So it says you can also assign roles to groups as well. So resource type, the freebie resource, the directory level. This is taking a while to load, probably platform issues. Let me refresh this. Security role, security administrator, the directory level, and you select our members who we wish to add. So Mr. Jude, I've been tasked with assigning Mr. Jude Tega with the security administrator role. It's not appearing. Okay, Jude or Rita. So we click on this and then we click on select. I can also choose to assign groups. Also among the groups I assigned Rita. Okay, let's select. Then we click on next. So now for eligibility, we are not going for an active assignment but rather for an eligible assignment, so that this particular user can be able to activate their role whenever they are required. So we can't make it permanently eligible. We're not going to make them permanently eligible. Let's play with the date. Let's say 20. Okay. And this is the time frame. We should be, as you are seeing this, you should all know that privilege identity management is a time bound role assignments tab uses the principle of just-in-time access and time bound. So I click on assign this role, and it's assigning the role. It happens being okay. While we wait for this thing to assign, now you see it happen now has the role of security administrator. As you can see, I will now refresh this, and it should appear underneath here under eligible assignments for security administrator role. Okay, so Rita has appeared. Okay, so we can also play around with the settings of this role. Role settings, security administrator, maximum 8 hours or so. I can choose to edit the settings as well. Now I've also been tasked with increasing the time that she works with. Let's give her 12 more hours. That is an entire 12 hours. That is half a day. And on activation, I can choose to require MFA or require Microsoft Entra conditional access authentication context. Well, MFA is just fine. It's just fine. Require justification authentication, yes. You can require a ticketing, or you can say require approval. So under whose approval, you can say approval. Let's assign an approval for her activation role. So under her approval, let's say myself, emmanuelojids, because I am the IT administrator at Nine Labs. I select this and I click on next. Now this is for activation and the assignment. Allow permanent assignment eligibility. I can disable permanent eligible assignments for this role. Allow permanent active assignment. I can also disable this as well. I can tick all this in the settings. Another notification I can also set up for role assignment as well. So I will be doing all of this because I have not tasked with it to do this by my manager. So I'll now click on update, and it should update the role settings. Okay, and that is how you all implement. That is how I was able to implement privilege identity management for this role. So I also been tasked with implementing under protection, identity protection, and as well as conditional access. So I'll start with identity protection. Now I am being tasked with implementing user risk and sign-in risk. Okay, user risk and sign-in risk. So I come down here under identity protection. I click on user risk. I'm sorry, hold on, let me see this risky users. Risky workloads. Risky detections and risky signings. Let's wait for it to load. confirm user as safe. Confirm user safe, yes. Then close. We are waiting for this to load. And then we're implementing identity protection. So we go to user risk policy. You can configure it here. And then we have the signing risk policy for our best for the best experience, or for the best effectiveness, we'll be using conditional access for this. Okay, so user risk. So let's configure it here under conditional access policy. Conditional access policy. You see our policies here. You also see an overview. Okay, sorry. So we have our policies. We can decide to say create a new policy, or we can create a new policy from templates. But we come down here and click on templates. We also have our named locations, custom controls, VPN connectivity, classic policies, signing logs, audit logs, and all. So this is what we are going to do now. We're going to start a policy. We click on create a new policy from scratch. Since I've been tasked with implementing user risk policy, signing risk policy, and as well as other conditional access policies for my organization, Nene Labs. So name of the policy, we'll call it user risk policy. Okay, and under assignments, we can select users. We can click all users, but for this rule, or for this, we click on select users. We select users, guest or external users. No. You can click guest or external users if you want to, or directory roles, or those users and groups. So select some users. Select our users that will be affected by this policy. We click on this e-former. Click on e-former and click on select. That's e-former. Then for the user risk policy, for the user risk policy, the formal. Then for our target resources, we select all cloud apps for our target resources. Then for the network, you can configure CS and say any network or location, or all trusted networks. Say all trusted networks. And select networks. And let me duplicate this tab. Okay, sorry for that. We have also implemented our locations, bound locations. So what we are going to do, you are going to select a network and choose a location. Now we select bound locations. Then we go over to and click on save recording, and we go over to conditions. Now conditions, select our conditions. Now we have different conditions. We have user risk, we have sign-in risk, and insider risk. But for this work documentation of mine, I'll be implementing user risk. Configure yes, and then select very high and click on done for user risk. Then you can even go further to implement insider risk as well. Device platforms, you can implement this as well too. Device platforms. Access controls, we will not block access, but we will access controls, grant access and require MFA. Then click on select. Sessions. Under sessions, you say based on use conditional access app control, say use the sign-in frequency, persistent browser session, customize continuous access. Now all this depends on the company policy, but for my own company, or for the company that I'm currently working in, which is Nene Labs, default, we have sign-in policy and periodic authentication of 5 days, every 5 working days. Then we click on select, and then we turn on the policy, and then we click on create. And now our user risk policy is being created in our conditional access policies. Now conditional access policies. conditional access policies. So you can see our policy is being turned on. You can also go on to implement sign-in risk policy for this. So we go over it again. I'll name this policy sign-in risk policy. Sign-in risk policy. Sign-in risk policy. All users, and then select users. Now all users, you can click all users. We select users, and then we select wait for this to load. So it's E for Omar, and then we click on select for E former. Send this policy. Target resources, all cloud apps. Then network. Under network, we configure this to yes. Selected network locations. We click on banned locations. And click on save. You can also decide to create more locations in this conditional access policy. Then for our condition, we select sign-in risk. Configure to yes and click on high, so on low. Then click on done. Then for access controls, for sign-in risk policies, we need to block access. We select. We won't be we are not to tamper with the sessions configuration, so we click on and click on create. Also, I can also decide to update our policies, so we click on this ellipsis. I can update our policies. Click on sign or user risk policy. Let's try to update this. We can update this. Oh yes, we select our conditions. Now for our user risk, we are to tweak this. Let's select for also high and low. Click on done, and then we click on save to update our user risk policy. Okay, now that is done, we close. Okay. Okay, so now that we have implemented our policies, I think that is all for my work log. I'll also be sure to drop more work logs as well, like this. This is all the show of my expertise in my organization and the people who I work for, which are Nene Labs at Nene Labs. So thank you for watching and thank you so much. This is Emmanuel Worklogs.